Campus Co-op is a student-run residence, a cooperative residence that goes back as far as the 30s. Campus Co-op is designed to provide cheap housing, low-cost housing to the student community. And I was honored to live here 50 years ago myself in 1967. Lately I was called upon recently to become treasurer for Campus Co-op because they didn't have anyone with financial expertise on their board. It's a volunteer position. I'm supporting the principle of low-cost student housing to make education accessible. And I had the idea of taking surplus, low-cost, or free surplus industrial equipment and making it available to anybody who needs computing. And we could refit this equipment with Linux, so that we're not using Microsoft's Windows, proprietary Windows system. We could refit it with Linux and make the internet and computing accessible to everybody. So Campus Co-op had some extra space that wasn't doing anything. It was just an old garage, and it wasn't hard for them to refit it, to finish it on the interior and make it available. We got the space in July or August of 2018, and without any money from anyone and without asking for any money, we collected a fair amount of equipment that we made ready for use for people who needed it. We got furniture for it, we got tables and chairs and cabinets for it, and we had tons of cables and other equipment donated from other places, some that I had in stock. It was sorted and organized and ready to go. We needed somebody who understood hardware and software. And we found a guy, Dave, who knows much more about computer equipment than I ever knew. And he was very helpful in setting up some of the things that I didn't know. I've worked in computers for over 20 years, and there was tons of things that he knew that I didn't know. Good help is hard to find, and most people who are highly skilled in working with computers and doing the installations necessary, most people have good jobs and they're making good money. And to find somebody who has available time and is willing to volunteer simply for the purpose of making computing accessible to needy students, I mean, this is a very rare find. And he worked for free. I worked for free. We drove around, got the things that we needed to get, set it all up, got it organized. We got cabinets, cables, and cell phones, and Androids, which are capable of being repurposed. And we got the whole site ready to go. And we were really just about ready to announce an open house. We got a message from the internal and the external president that they wanted to have a special meeting on this. And I had received, only 5 days before, I'd received a request for more information and more reports, and I had prepared those and presented them at this special meeting that was set up. And there was not really very much discussion at all. They simply voted to shut down the space. I do not have a single email requesting information from anyone on the board about how the space is being used. Dave was working in the worker space, and people came in, president external and the president internal. They came in, and they came in unannounced. It was an unexpected visit, and he was just busy organizing some of his stuff. It basically said to him he would have to leave within a month. And now we've received a notice that we're having to leave within 3 days. And the whole operation is shut until we have a full board meeting, which will happen on the 24th of April. Now, since the debate was very short, and there was only about 3 or 4 questions asked before they called for closure. My question is, where are they getting their information? I got one person told me some details of what he'd heard. And all of them were important questions that deserved an answer. But people had been getting questions, but they hadn't been getting answers. And the reason they hadn't been getting answers is because none of that information was directed to me.
So nobody really called you, asked you, emailed you?
Not a single person, ever. All I got was emails advising me that there was a meeting being called.
People who supported you at the beginning, were they there?
I just got an email from one of them, one of the people who got an Android for us, and he said he was out of town. He's actually in a conference in Memphis, Tennessee, and
he didn't know?
He didn't know anything about the closure of the makerspace. The meeting was called originally, but it was called for an entirely different agenda item.